Okay, welcome to a deep dive. Today we're tackling something you probably do dozens of times a week, maybe more. Answering, how are you? Seems simple, right?
Yeah, but how do you sound?
Yeah.
Well, natural doing it. We've got some source material here, basically a bunch of excerpts looking at how people actually respond.
Right. The goal isn't just to list phrases, but to find ways to answer that feel genuine, avoiding that slightly robotic feel.
Exactly. So our mission here is pulling out those real-world patterns, moving past the phrase book answer.
Yeah.
You know,
That classic, I'm fine, thank you, and you. The sources we looked at call that out pretty directly.
they do. They say, look, it's correct, technically.
But it can sound kind of unnatural, maybe a bit stiff, especially in just casual chat. Have you ever felt that way saying it?
Oh, definitely. Or you hear it and it just sort of signals the end of that little interaction.
Right. Moving on.
So yeah, the sources point out that while everyone understands it, it often lacks that personal touch you hear in everyday conversation.
And, crucially, native speakers. They usually don't just stop there.
That's the key insight, really. It's not just the statement, it's the whole exchange.
Yeah. And this is where the sources get super practical. They don't just say, don't say I'm fine. They give loads of alternatives, showing that the variety is what makes it sound natural. And a lot of them follow a pattern, right? A quick update, then turn it back.
Yes, exactly that combo. State how you are, briefly, then always reciprocate. The sources list examples all over the place.
Like what?
Well, you might get something kind of neutral, but, bit more specific, like, I'm all right, just taking it day by day. How about yourself?
Okay, yeah. Or, not bad at all. How's life treating you? That feels warmer already.
Right. And you can show a little bit of reality, too. It doesn't have to be fake positive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, things have been a bit rough lately, but we're getting better. How have you been?
See, that feels human. Or if things are great, never been better. What about you?
And it covers just being busy,
Right.
which is pretty common,
Oh,
right?
well.
So, doing well? Just keeping busy as usual? How about yourself? Or even more casual, like, hanging in there. How's everything with you?
It's interesting how just adding a few words or changing them slightly makes such a difference compared to just, I'm fine.
Well, the sources sort of hint at why. It's because these other answers give a tiny glimpse, right?
Oh.
Even just acknowledging you're busy
Oh.
or managing.
A little bit of authenticity.
Yeah, it makes the interaction feel more personal, even if it's super brief.
And that follow-up question is key.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It shifts the focus back, shows you're interested. It keeps the conversation, moving.
Right. It stops it feeling like just a status check and then awkward pause.
Exactly. It's about that back and forth, that connection. Even in a tiny exchange, things like, can't complain, thanks for asking, how about you?
Yeah.
That does the job perfectly.
Okay, so boiling it down. The main takeaway from these sources isn't about finding one magic phrase.
No, not at all.
It's more about understanding the pattern. A varied, brief response.
It's usually followed by asking them back and just having a few options you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, the sources really show that native speakers mix it up constantly. They aren't rigid. So embracing that variety, whether you say you're all good or a bit busy, that's what sounds genuine.
And practicing just a couple of these, maybe trying out, I've been a bit busy, but okay. How have things been with you? Or even just, all good here, what about you?
It can actually change how those quick daily chats feel, can't it?
Yeah, from like a task to, well, a small connection.
It really shows how much depth there is, even in common phrases when you look at natural speech.
So here's something to maybe think about. If tweaking how you answer, how are you, can shift a tiny interaction to feel more real, where else could using more natural language maybe deepen connections in your day-to-day life?
That's a great question to ponder.
Something to consider until our next deep dive.